the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS 2 News at 11 p.m.
It's a very big problem, and we have to solve this problem. And I think we're going to come up with some plans and methods and mitigation.
Tonight, President Trump tours the devastation from California's massive wildfires. Now, President Trump got a first-hand look at some of the damage right here in the Southland.
Yeah, the president walked through a Malibu neighborhood where homes were destroyed in the Woolsey fire.
Now, tonight, that fire is 84% contained, but more than 1,000 homes and buildings were destroyed, and more than 98,000 acres have burned.
Yeah, 3 people have died. CBS 2 political reporter Dave Bryan has more on the president's tour.
It was a day of mixed emotions here in Southern California, especially in the Malibu area, over the president's visit to some of the hard-hit fire areas. President Trump's motorcade rolled into Malibu late Saturday afternoon on the second leg of his tour of communities that were devastated by the California wildfires.
And we have to solve this problem, and I know that we're going to work together. I have no doubt. Come here. I have no doubt. Right? We're going to get it done.
Some local residents welcome the president's visit and appreciate the federal disaster funding.
We actually have had no Wi-Fi or power for a week, so if he does provide that, that would be great.
But some other residents, including some in the same family, question the president's sincerity.
From what I've seen in leadership, he's now just following a PR cabinet, and doing, the right thing.
President Trump began his tour of fire-ravaged California in the small Northern California city with the ironic name Paradise. The first stop was a burned-out home where an American flag was on display.
Nobody would have ever thought this could have happened. So the federal government is behind you. We're all behind each other. I think we can truly say, Jerry, right? And Jerry and I have been speaking, and Gavin and I have now gotten to know each other.
The president was flanked by Governor Jerry Brown and Governor-elect Gavin Newsom, both Democrats. And the tone was supportive and cooperative to help the victims. Lots of federal help, the governor said.
Local people, state people that are doing the work. Federal government provides some help and a lot of money and some expertise.
When asked what can be done to prevent future fires of this magnitude, President Trump again blamed the lack of forest maintenance.
I have a strong opinion. I want great climate. We're going to have that, and we're going to have forests that are very safe, because we can't go through this every year. We go through this, and we're going to have safe forests, and that's happening as we speak.
It's not one thing, it's a lot of things. I think if we just open our minds and look at things, we'll get more stuff done.
In Malibu, Dave Bryan, CBS 2 News.
And after Malibu, the president met with families and first responders affected by the mass shooting in Thousand Oaks.
And the private meeting took place at an airplane hangar near Oxnard. CBS 2's Lori Perez, she's live in Thousand Oaks with more. Lori.
Yeah, for a little while tonight, a small crowd had gathered here at the memorial site near the Borderline Bar and Grill, anticipating that the president might stop here. But as you said, instead he met privately and briefly with families of the victims and first responders.
We just hugged them and we kissed them and everybody, and it was very warm.
Before boarding Air Force One headed back to D.C., President Trump described an emotional meeting with first responders and families of the borderline shooting victims.
I was with the parents of a very young supporter wearing a Trump shirt, and just a terrific young man. So it was a tough thing to do. This has been a tough day.
Mourners gathering at a street-side memorial outside the Thousand Oaks College Bar welcomed the president's visit. Some hopeful controversy would not follow him on this sad occasion.
I think it's time at this point you put politics aside, and when the White House shows support for California, for the shooting victims, and for everyone at Borderline, I think that's great.
Meanwhile, hours before Trump's visit, Justin Meek's own voice rang out at his memorial. What a wonderful world. A recording of him joined with his former choir mates for a painfully beautiful moment. And that was just part of the memorial service for Justin Meek. He was the 23-year-old Cal Lutheran grad. That memorial service was held at the college not far from here. Hundreds attended. We are live in Thousand Oaks tonight. I'm Lori Perez. Back to you.
Well, new numbers in the devastating Camp Fire up north. 5 more bodies have been found, bringing the death toll to 76. Nearly 1,300 people are missing, and tonight the fire is 55% contained. More than 12,000 homes and other structures were destroyed.
Yeah, and Amy, the healing and rebuilding process is just starting for those that are affected by our local fires, but many, they don't know where to turn for help. CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen, he is live in Oak Park with details on all the resources that are available. Jeff.
And this is one of the homes that was leveled more than a week ago. Well, now fire survivors have some places to go to get help to rebuild their lives. For the Stinfo family, uncertainty is all they know right now after running from the flames of the Woolsey fire that swept through the Latigo Canyon area of Malibu, which is still under an evacuation order.
So we've been told that our house is completely destroyed.
The couple, along with their 6-year-old son, went to one of 2 disaster assistance centers that opened up today. One is at the Malibu Courthouse. This one is at the Conrad Hilton Foundation in Agora Hills.
Our mission is about relieving human suffering.
It's a one-stop shop for information from more than 30 local and federal agencies, along with some nonprofits.
Planning-wise, although we're not able to return to our house and see what the remnants of it is, we just wanted to make sure we plan ahead.
There's an opportunity to apply for a low-interest loan with deferrals for homeowners, renters, and businesses of all sizes.
It's basically for uninsured and underinsured property damage.
At my grandma's house. At his grandmother's house.
For now, the Stinfos are staying with family while they start planning to rebuild their home, which will likely start with the removal of hazardous material.
I know about building permits, but we had no idea the complexity of all the different permits.
The disaster assistance centers will be closed on Sundays and Thanksgiving. The hope is they will remain open until December 10th. Live in Oak Park, Jeff Nguyen, CBS 2 News.
Well, today Ventura County officials held a meeting for those in Bell Canyon who lost their homes in the Woolsey fire. Fire victims packed the town hall meeting. They were given information about how to recover from the devastating fire that destroyed 37 homes and damaged 12 more. Wendy and Robert Goodman lost their home of 18 years. They say they are still stunned.
It's the pictures like when your kids, growing up, the report card, the first, pictures they drew and all that you can't replace.
Now, the community also thanked firefighters who work so hard to save homes and lives. And you can donate to fire victims by texting 2018 fires to 41444 or go online to cbsla.com/CBSLA helps.
And we have some breaking news now. A man and woman are found dead after a shooting in Long Beach tonight.
Yeah, police found the victims in a car near 17th Street and Alamitos Avenue. So far, no arrest.
Well, coming up, a close election race finally decided in Orange County.
I'm Christy Fajardo, live in Westchester, where police are on scene of a double murder mystery. The story coming up.
Plus, searching for a heartless thief who stole a woman's purse after a terrible car accident.
And a dramatic ending as USC takes on crosstown rival UCLA at the Rose Bowl. Amber?
And we're gearing for rain in the forecast. I'll tell you when we can expect it coming up.